Hey guys, welcome to day 13 of your Fit Fusion Challenge. It's just going to be a 30-minute yoga class. We're going to take some time to stretch and relax those sore muscles that you've been working for the last almost 2 weeks now. So roll out your yoga mat, take off your shoes, and let's get started. We're going to be in a comfortable seat for the first few breaths. So if sitting cross-ankled is uncomfortable, please go ahead and just send your legs to whichever side feels good for you. You can send them out straight or kneeling, and then we'll just rock side to side and find your sit bones. If you have tight hips, you can place something under your hips, a towel or blanket or a block. Palms on the thighs, roll the shoulders down out of the ears, and close down your eyes for a moment. We're going to take a few moments to just tap into your breath. So relax your jaw, but lightly close your lips. And let's start to breathe in and out through your nose. Traditional Ujjayi breath. It's done in and out through the nostrils, letting the belly float forward on the in breath. And the belly sinks back into the spine on the out breath. So really using your diaphragm. And then maybe a traditional HA sound in the back of your throat as you exhale, almost like a with your lips closed. We're going to set the intention for today's class. Go ahead and blink your eyes open if they were closed. Flutter your eyelids as much as you need. We'll start to move through the neck first, so soften your chin to your chest. And then just roll right ear to right shoulder and shine your left ear up. And then keep rolling all the way back. Take the left ear to left shoulder. And meet back down in the middle. We'll do 2 more big neck circles here. Take your time. If you get dizzy when you move your head around, go ahead and go slower. Or even feel free to hold static neck stretches instead. When you complete this next circle, let's switch directions. So shining your right ear up first, and then keep going. Roll back, right ear to right shoulder. And we'll do 3 big neck circles. Just honor what you find. If there's a sticky spot, you're welcome to hold it. And then we'll meet chin to chest. Pick up your gaze. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Get really tall through your spine. Reach your right arm back, your left arm across. Catch the floor and the thigh. Lift up your heart, look over your back shoulder, gentle twist. Big breath in, and we'll reach arms overhead. Fan them to the sky and twist the other way. So catching the outside of your thigh and the floor behind you with your left hand. Look over your back shoulder, twist. Excellent. Unwind. We'll take the right hand to the floor. Circle the left arm up. Create that side stretch. Bump your left hip down. Come out with your next in-breath and find the floor on the other side. Reach your right arm up. Stretch for the sky. Beautiful. Slowly release, and then we'll turn to face our mat here. So however you need to do that, kick your ankles one direction, and if you need to pad up your knees, go ahead and do that. So palms under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow. Exhale, chin to chest, tailbone drops, and head drops. Reverse that now. Let your belly soften down. Lift your chest, lift your heart, lift your tail, and keep going. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And after this last one, we'll settle somewhere right in between cat and cow. You're going to place weight into the hands and pick up your right knee. So we're at 90 degrees with that knee here. Shine it out to the side. Circle up and over, kind of through fire hydrant, under and back up. And we'll do 2 more big circles here. Try to keep a softness in your elbows. And then at the end of this other circle, we're going to switch directions. So when you finish that circle, reverse it. Down under the hip, out through fire hydrant, up and over. Just moving the hip through whatever range of motion is available today. Last one. Good. And let's step that foot as high up the mat as you can. So start to drag it to the top of the mat. You can use your hand to pull it. Lighten on your fingers and lift up your chest. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Pick a spot, stare at it. See if you can start to scissor your legs together. Create enough tension that maybe you can rise off the floor and come to your thigh or blocks. Or perhaps even up to the sky. So reaching fingertips overhead. Really creating a big stretch through that back hip. And with your exhale, breath will fold, bow over the leg. Tuck your back toes, pick up your back knee, place weight on that back hand, and start to rotate into your front knee, revolve low lunge. Try to let that rotation happen in your middle back. Good. And then we'll release that hand down to the ground, soften your back knee to the floor, step that right knee to meet the left, and child's pose. Hips to heels, arms overhead, bow, forehead and nose down to the ground. Customize this however you need to. Good. We'll come back into our all fours position. Let's take one round of cat-cow. So when you get there, push down in your hands, dome up through your back. And then soften your belly down, move your chest through the gateway of your shoulders. Back to center and zip that core. We'll try side 2. So whichever side you didn't do yet, flex the knee at 90 and then we'll move it out to the side, under and up. So I cued right leg for the first side. So this is probably your left leg, moving it out to the side. And let's hit the top here and go the other way. So down first. Through fire hydrant, up and over the biggest hip circle you can without any pain. We're strengthening the core, bringing some heat to the hip. Go at the top of that next circle. See if you can step your foot up the mat, as high up the mat as you can. You can wiggle it and pull it with your hands, lightening on your fingertips for Anjaneyasana. Scissor your legs together and perhaps climb up to blocks or your thigh. Or maybe stretch your fingertips up to the sky. Getting a really great hip stretch here. Breathe into your lungs. And release. Exhale, bow over your front leg. Then tuck those back toes. Engage your back thigh. Lift off. So you're now in low lunge. Plant the standing hand under your shoulder and twist into your front knee. Revolve low lunge. Side 2. Should be twisting to your left if your left leg's in front. Exhale that hand down and then soften the back knee. We'll drag the other knee to meet it. Child's pose. Melt the hips down. Reach the arms overhead like you're shining your armpits down to the ground. Good. Come on up to all fours once more. Curl your toes under. Really plug those hands down into the ground. Spread your fingers and lift your knees up and back for downward facing dog. Let your head just kind of dive between your arms. Relax your face. And then if you'd like, you can pedal here. So just bending one knee and let the other heel get heavy. We'll switch other side. Stretching that posterior chain from heel to hip. Keep the elbows soft, but the shoulders engaged. Good. Let's stretch your right leg up to the sky. 3-legged dog. Inhale. And then exhale. Bring your right knee to your nose as you shift forward into your hands. Work your core. And we'll do that again. Inhale. And can you step your right foot all the way to the top of the mat, in between your hands, aim by your thumb. Let's swivel that heel to the ground and then take a nice warrior 2. So just cartwheel your way on up, relax your shoulders down and sink. Virabhadrasana 2. Can you gaze over your front arm? Good. Reverse that warrior. So you're going to shift forward, flip the front palm, take the back hand to your thigh, reverse the warrior, gaze up at the hand if you can. And then come back through warrior 2, moving slow. Gracefully set your elbow to your thigh and stretch that other arm to the sky. And then roll that hip open. Maybe gaze up at your top fingers. Let's circle this hand down to the floor. As you do, you're gonna pick up your back heel and then heel toe your front foot out so there's room for your hands in between. So hands are on the inside of that knee. Runner's lunge. If this is too intense, go ahead and melt the back knee down. Place a pad underneath it. If it feels good, you can shift forward and back a little bit, kind of limbering things up, a little side to side. Excellent. Scissoring through your legs here. Engage your core. Push down in your hands if your back knee is down. Lift it on up, and we'll slide that right foot to meet your left. We're in the top of a plank push-up. So if you'd like to put your knees down, you can. Shine the elbows back, so they're going to bend backwards. Start to lower through chaturanga. Belly to the ground. Tops of the feet find the ground. And baby cobra. Inhale. And exhale, come back down. Let's do 2 more rolling cobras. Push through your hands, lift up through your spinal muscles, and roll back down. 1 more. Just lengthening your front body, elbows hugging, shoulders out of your ears, and release. Let's push it up and back, child's pose. And then while you're here, take a couple wrist circles. So when your forehead reaches the ground, go ahead and lift up your hands, roll out your wrists, and close your fingers a few times. Get some blood into those hands and wrists. And we're going to do that same flow for the other side. So go ahead and stretch out the arms, shoulder distance. Shift forward, all fours. Tuck the toes. Knees up. Downward facing dog. Heels heavy. Feel that stretch in the back body. We're going to walk the toes a little closer. And then take left leg to the sky. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Left knee to your nose, come forward plank. 1 more, stretch it up, get that nice big reach, and safely step your left foot all the way to the top of the mat, in between your hands, aim by your thumb. Swivel your back heel to the ground, and then cartwheel on up into warrior 2. Spread your wings like a T and gaze over your front arm, sink down. Good. We'll shift forward, flip the front palm, and then take the back hand to the thigh for a little support. This is our reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Come back to center, slow motion, and take your front elbow down to rest on your thigh as you stretch your top arm to the sky. Fingertips up, maybe gazing past them. Rolling that back hip open. Let's keep reaching that arm up and over the head towards the top of your mat. Take the right hand down. As you do, you'll pick up the right heel and heel toe your left leg out so there's space for both hands on the inside of your knee. Runner's lunge. If you need to, you can go ahead and set the back knee down, but if it feels okay to stay up, go ahead and maybe add a little movement. Front and back and side to side. Really opening the hips. Good. If your back knee is down, start to engage your back leg muscles. Pick it on up. Strong core is going to sweep that left leg to meet your right. Find the top of a push-up plank or maybe knees down. You choose. Shine those fingertips out so that when you bend your elbows, they go backwards. Shift forward of your wrist, chaturanga, baby cobra, or mid cobra, or full cobra. You choose. Keep it out of your neck. Roll it back down on the exhale. Push into your hands, rise up, child's pose. Hips to heels, maybe a little hand movement if you need it. And can you walk your hands over to the right? And just take a deep breath into your left lung, feeling a nice side body stretch. And then we'll walk the hands over to the left. Do the same thing for the other side. Bump that right hip away. Stretch your right side. Breathe into your right lung. Good. Walk yourself back through center. Shift back into all fours. We're going to go ahead and scoot the right knee down the center of your mat and then shimmy that right foot out behind your left wrist and find your way into half pigeon. If you need to place something under your hip, like a block, a towel, something to sit on that will elevate your hips, that can be very helpful for tight hips. If your knee is complaining about this pose, go ahead and take the reclining pigeon version, so you can just go ahead and roll to your spine. If it feels okay though, let's go ahead and take a breath up. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Half sleeping pigeon. Just a little stretch here. And of course, you can move and adjust as you see fit. Good, we'll walk ourselves back up. So if you're on your back, you can just roll back up. If you're in half sleeping pigeon, walk your hands under your shoulders and slide that knee underneath your hip. Let's switch sides. So sink back, shift forward, and left knee down the center. Wiggle your left ankle out so that it's kind of behind your right wrist. Feel free to use props underneath that hip or to roll to your back if you need that. We'll take a breath up into the hip stretch. And then exhale, start to fold. You can walk down to your elbows or just stay on your hands. A fist pillow might be nice. A block can be very helpful because you can use that to bring the ground up to you for something to rest on that's a little bit higher off the ground. Notice if you're clenching in your jaw or your face and see if you can relax that. And we'll slowly start to come out of our sleeping pigeon and just slide yourself back, hips to heels, child's pose. Good, we're gonna prep for wide angle. So shift yourself forward and have a seat in the center of your mat. Face one of the long edges of the mat here. We're gonna stretch out the legs as wide as you can comfortably with your knees and your toes facing up. Feel free to place something under your hips, so blocks or a roll-up towel or a mat can help give you a little space, keep some softness in your knees. Fingertips can absolutely be behind you for some support, so we look like this. And that might be plenty stretch, so stay there if it is. If you're able to take your fingertips down the middle and start to fold while keeping your hip points in contact with the floor, this is your opportunity to take a little fold down the middle. It should not hurt. So if you're finding pain or restriction in your breath, you can come out of it a little bit, realign, melt back down. Just try to send the message to your nervous system to relax, to let those muscles lengthen. We'll come back up. Use your hands if you're folded down the middle, and let's side bend to the right. So go ahead and reach outside of your right leg with your right hand. Circle your left arm up. Try to keep your hips down. This might be all you have. That's okay. If you can always allow your fingertips to catch the pinky toe side of your toe and start to bend even deeper, but watch that this hip doesn't come off the floor. And we'll come on up about halfway, turn to face that leg, and then frame it with your hands. Just start to crawl down, bowing down to the right knee. Relax the forehead, relax the shoulders. A little passive here. Use your hands to gently come back up, and we'll switch to the other side bend. So left hand outside of your left shin, circle your right arm up. Pause here, stay here if that feels like a lot of stretch. If you can keep climbing towards the outer edge of your foot and catch it, and then keep bending even more side bend into that waist and hip. And we'll come on up with a half lift. Start to turn and face your leg. Take your time. Frame it out, and then gently start to bow, walking your hands towards your ankle or foot. There's no pressure for you to achieve a certain amount of fold. So if you're just looking at your leg and you feel stretch, that's fine. come on up, slowly use your hands. And then this is the tough one. So you can get your knees, put your hands under your knees and give them a little bend. And then bring those feet back to center. So a little wider than your hips. We're going to windshield wiper side to side. Place your hands behind you for a little support. And then just rock your knees right. And rock your knees left, releasing the hips. Excellent job. And let's get even and pick a spot, pick a direction to swing your legs towards, and we're going to roll down. So find the center of your mat. You can use your hamstrings for support, or you could hold on or let go and see if you can control your descent. Slowly, 1 inch at a time. When your head reaches the ground, go ahead and stretch your arms up, and then maybe even send your legs straight, toes point like a rope and tug of war. If your low back's tight though, you can just keep your knees bent. And we'll reverse that. So take your knees one at a time, hug them into your chest, give them a tight squeeze. And let's rock from side to side, massage your lower back. Relax your head down. Good. We'll set the left footprint down to the sky, hands interlaced behind your right hamstring, and let's kick like you're doing a leg extension towards straight and then bend. And it does not have to go all the way straight. Just find the length of your hamstring and slow bend. And we'll do the last one. Stay up here on this one, and we'll stay flexed so your toes are dorsiflexed. See if you can rotate your toes in and rotate your toes out, and see how the whole chain, it moves down the chain. The knee and the ankle move out and in with the toes, and allow that femur to rotate inside your hip socket here. Rotate in and rotate out. And I'm using my hands to guide it. We'll hold what feels like neutral somewhere between internal-external rotation. Point your toe and flex your toe, and just move to the furthest range of motion that's available in both directions. And go ahead and circle that ankle around a few times. Get all the cracks out. Go both ways. Excellent. We're going to wrap that right thigh across the left. Draw those knees into your chest. You can either just hug your shins, or you can keep walking down the ankles towards the feet. We're taking that open cow face, but lying face up so that our back's really supported. Feel stretching your hips here. For me, I just need my ankles. That's plenty, but some of you might be able to grab the feet and just gently pull them back towards your face. That's a lot for me. My hips are a little tight. Find that spot that's kind of the sweet spot between too hard and too easy. It's just right. Good. Release whatever you're holding, and then you're going to go ahead and reach your arms into a T. Drop your bottom foot to the ground, scoot your hips over to the right, and then let those crossed thighs slowly descend down to the left in a twist. So if that is too intense, uncross your thighs and just stack your knees in a supine twist. So choose the version that feels good for you today, just dropping knees to left in some fashion. And try to open up your chest to the sky so that your heart is squared up to the ceiling or wherever you're looking at. So that's working that twist the other direction as well. And then use your abdominals, squeeze them to pick up those knees, and we'll uncross and scoot the hips back to middle. Let's take a little hug through the knees to kind of reset the spine. You might even draw a couple circles here. And go the other way, and we're going to do that whole flow on the other leg. So set your right footprint down, catch your left hamstring, and let's just leg extension up to the sky and slow back down. Straighten and bend. Very slowly, let your shoulders relax. And we'll take that last one and hold the top here with your toe flexed. Start to rotate in and rotate out. And then kind of observe how that goes up the chain to your hip. And you can use your hands to guide this rotation through the hip. A lot of times the internal rotation is quite difficult. But it is good to have both directions. And then we'll find what feels like neutral and point flex. Toes away and toes back. Just to the edge of your stretch. That Goldilocks zone, the sweet spot. And then make some big circles. Keeping blood flow in the ankles and the feet. Go the other direction. Good. Let's cross. You're going to wrap your left thigh over your right. Draw your navel in to protect your spine, and we'll pick those knees up. You might just hug your knees, or maybe walking down the ankles or the feet is appropriate for you. It depends on where you feel the sensation. If you're feeling it in your knees, back out of that a bit. If you're feeling it in your hips, though, that is the target area. Relax your shoulders. Make sure you're not tensing up somewhere else because there's tension. I think of like breathing some space into my outer hip. That open cow face. We'll slowly release your right foot to the ground, and you'll spread the wings into a T. Pick up your hips and scoot them just a bit over to the left so that when you drop your knees, your hips are stacked. Slowly drop your knees to the right. If you at any time need to uncross your knees, you can go ahead and just stack them to the right. But we're going to keep reaching with that left arm out to the side so you're squaring your chest up to the ceiling. Creating a twist. And then we'll need to use our abdominals here. So squeeze through the core, start to lift the knees back up through the center, uncross the thigh bones, and then step your feet under your knees and pick up your hips and set them down in the center of your mat. Arms long by your sides here for bridge asana. Gaze up to the ceiling, push through your heels and lift those hips up. Your knees will shine forward. So try not to let them flare out. You're rolling up onto your shoulder blades. And if you'd like to, you can wriggle up a little higher and interlace your fingers behind your back, coming into a chest expansion here from bridge. Only go there if that feels good, if it feels right for your shoulders. And if your fingertips are interlaced, you'll slowly release them and roll yourself back down 1 inch at a time. Letting the tailbone touch last. Separate your feet. So pinky toes out to the outer edges of your mat. Take goalposts with your arms. Let your knees drop to the left. And then at the deep breath in, you'll swing those knees up and let them drop to the right. Letting gravity keep your knuckles reaching down to the floor. Let's do one more each way. Knees to the left. And then knees to the right. And then this is a chance for you to scan your body for any other areas with tension. So go ahead and take care of any individual poses that you might have to right now for these next 5 or 6 breaths. Maybe you need another knee hug. Maybe a happy baby is calling your name. Or plow, or perhaps you were ready to be still and you are welcome to head to stillness. This is just a little time for some individual care. So for Shavasana, you can absolutely choose any lying on your back position. Maybe half Shavasana, which is knees together and hands on the belly, feet apart. It's a little bit safer for your back. Full Shavasana if your back's pretty happy and healthy. Arms and legs long. Toes are open, shoulders relaxed. Of course, if you have any reasons why lying on your back is not advised, go ahead and choose maybe a sideline position or even a comfortable seat, as long as you can keep your spine tall. So start to settle there now, wherever you choose, and close down your eyes. And you can always scratch an itch or wiggle around if you need to. Just become an observer of your breath. Notice the quality without exerting any control over the inhale or the exhale. We'll spend a few moments here just watching the breath. If you are ready to end your practice, go ahead and start some wake up movements now. If you'd like to spend a few more minutes in Shavasana, go ahead and pause the video here and take as long as you need. I like to start with the fingers and the toes, rolling out the wrists and the ankles, moving the knees and the hips and the arms. We'll just choose a side to roll to and gently press yourself up. Use the arms to push the ground away. And then we'll meet in a comfortable seat, just how we started the class. Hopefully feeling a little more open and a little more at one with our body and our mind. Lift the crown of your head high, sitting tall through your spine. On your next in-breath, stretch your arms overhead, palms connect. Slide your thumbs to your heart center and chin to chest. The light in me respects and salutes the light in all of you. Thank you guys for practicing with me. Namaste. If you enjoyed the video, yogis, please make sure that you hit like and subscribe. If you're following along in the 14-day Fit Fusion Challenge, please let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate you doing this workout with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow.